This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon, and I'm joined by a man who believes all student athletes should be paid. Nate.
Except for Tennessee, right?
Why is that?
Because they're volunteers,
Oh, right.
right?
That has been an interesting thing, though, with the NIL. I feel like everybody's getting paid the big bucks these days.
Well, it's turning into almost like the way professional sports are, right? Where everybody will play a season or two and then hops schools to wherever is going to pay them the most. So it's gonna, I don't know. There's pros and cons, but I think it's gonna eventually ruin college sports. But there has to be a way to pay them for, or I don't know. I feel like if you can sell your autograph or something like that, you should be able to do it. But I just don't think university or alums should be able to pay an athlete to go to their school because it's just going to turn into total chaos.
All I want is NCAA football in video game form. That's all I hope that comes from this, honestly.
In video game form?
Mm-hmm.
Did they not have it anymore?
No, they got rid of it because of that. And so,
I didn't
in
know
theory,
that.
they can bring it back now, but...
Yeah. I don't play video games anymore. I quit like 20 years ago. But I remember playing NCAA football. That's why I was curious why.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
It was. It really was. So, well, today we're joined on this episode with one of my good friends, Sheldon Worthington. Want to say hi, Sheldon?
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Just living the dream, the podcast dream.
You guys talk about video games. I did not grow up a gamer. So
No?
I don't have a lot of input, Ken Griffey Jr., that was about it,
I liked the Nintendo came out, but I felt like we had a pretty good balance of. We were just talking about this the other day with some other guys on another podcast that we were on. That kids don't play outside anymore like they used to, right? Did you grow up that way where you're just outside all the time playing? And video games were for when it was raining or at night when you couldn't be outside.
Yeah. No, being outside with the sun and like friends, riding bikes. I mean, we literally like come scratched up arms and, playing overline, right? Playing sports and stuff like these little kids, home run derby, playing night games, playing tag. Like we were out till dark, right? Like our parents were like, where are you guys?
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, just always outside. It was before cell phones. I remember in high school, I got a pager, so at least my mom could page me that she was trying to get a hold of me. It didn't work though. I still didn't come home.
I had a girlfriend and she got her pager and I thought it was the coolest thing. Like I was like, what the heck? They can like page you to call them? Like blew my mind. I didn't get my cell phone until like a senior year, I think. End of my senior year.
Oh yeah, I didn't have one until after my mission. Just had the pager, and then you'd have like codes, like certain numbers. You put the phone number in, so you know it's your mom, and then it was like come home or call me or whatever, like you're a doctor.
Yeah.
I don't think Brandon even knows what a pager is. He's too young. He's a millennial, so he doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, I had my first phone in junior high, so
junior high
pay as you go phone.
Yeah,
so it was limited, and I had to pay for each text basically. But
well, I did have a Cricket. I had a Cricket phone where you had to like sit in my room against my headboard to get the signal to work.
Yep.
If you moved, it wasn't going to work, and so I might get like king neck for like 30 minutes talking to my girlfriend.
Yeah, you knew like each spot in the house that you could stand so it would work, right? Yeah. And if you're in the car, forget about it, right? Like you'd be like, answer the phone, I'll call you back in a minute, and then hang up, right? But the unlimited minutes was amazing back then.
Yep.
That's why we did it.
Well, talking a little bit about the good old days, Sheldon, where did you grow up? Where do you hail from?
Yeah, so I grew up in Taylorsville, My parents still live in the same house. They're probably going to sell it here in about a year, but they've owned it for 42 years. It's kind of interesting. I think that generation, us younger guys kind of move here and there, but our parents seem to stick around. And I grew up on the border of Taylorsville, Murray, and West Jordan. But I went to Plymouth, which was right next to Taylorsville High School. Then I went to Eisenhower, which right by Salt Lake Community College for junior high. And then I went to Taylorsville High School. So grew up locally in the Valley, and spent a lot of time there. Didn't move out of that area till I was 36. Bought my first home over by Salt Lake Community College when I was 21. So that was like my backyard, was Taylorsville and that area. Loved it. It's home,
That's your home, right?
Yep.
Your stomping grounds.
Yep.
How long has Taylorsville High School hasn't been around for, well, relatively long? It has now, but for us, it was a relatively new school, right? When you went there?
Yeah, it was like 80s. Look it up. I think it was like 80s is when it was maybe better. Could be wrong.
Maybe I'm thinking of another school. We had another guest, John Smith, right, Brandon, who was on our podcast, and he went to Taylorsville High School and gave us some cool little fun facts about it. We didn't know there was a shooting range at Taylorsville High School. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Or maybe he might have lied to us, Brandon. I don't know. I haven't met anybody
that
has facts.
If he were to Taylorsville, he probably was lying to you, right?
Probably. Yeah. Well, he's on the radio now, so it's true. He's got to be lying.
No, look at it was built in 1981. So that was the year you were born, right?
I was born in 80.
80.
I'm an 80 boy.
81.
I missed 79 by 2 weeks. Oh, actually 8 days. I missed it. Well, great. Well, we thought it'd be fun to bring you on since you are basically a Taylorsville expert. Instead of talking about Taylorsville as a whole, but we would focus in on Salt Lake Community College, which is usually a stepping stone for a lot of us to get into other universities, right? So a lot of people start out at the community college and then move on to bigger and greater things if they can make it out. I didn't make it out of the community college, so I'm technically still
a student.
Still working on it.
Yeah, my story was a little bit unique, I would say. Kind of growing up in Taylorsville, I had an offer to play baseball at Snow College, and at a young age didn't know if I was going to get married. Almost got married at 19. Didn't know if I was going on a church mission. Didn't know if I was going to go play baseball, and I just went to Slick just to go. I just didn't want to waste semesters. I think a lot of people start out that way, is they just kind of go to just get something done and
figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Like, I didn't have a family at that time. I didn't have one of our family members that had degrees. So really, honestly, my approach was maybe I'll go play baseball in college, but you become an entrepreneur. That's just what our family lineage was just go start your own business, So that wasn't honestly on my radar. But I just went to go. And like you're saying, years later, are you going to graduate? I didn't know. I was like, let's just figure out life. Let's just not waste a semester. But the funny story was, as I was going, they have like the super senior, like comments, super senior.
Right.
I was like the super sophomore. You might have me beat if you end up going back to school, Nate, but I'd been going forever, I felt like. And I go into the counselor and I said, hey, I'm just curious how many classes I have left to graduate. And she goes, you graduated last semester. I was literally just going. I was just going to take your classes. I don't know what I was thinking.
Just like, because that's what you've done your whole life, right? You go to elementary through high school, and so you just go, right?
Yeah, it's like, if I graduate in 12 years, it's just like going through all the way through high school. But I was like, I was just taking a couple of classes and thinking, I'll get there one day. And I still hadn't decided baseball and married. And then I guess I won't play baseball. I'm a graduate, And so the counselor says, well, why don't you go up to the U of U? And I'm like, okay, she's like, well, you're done and we can get you some undergrad classes. So I believe it's 65 credits to graduate. That's back when it was, when I was there at Slick. And I graduated with, I believe it was like 86 credits.
Ooh.
79 transferred to the U. So I was a senior after one semester.
At the U.
That's awesome.
Not the traditional course, but like cost savings, The house we still own now, I bought when I was 21. It was 8 houses from the college, from Slick, right by Eisenhower. It was like the best bachelor pad environment by the school. Someone walked to school, some of my renters and roommates, and it was just so fun, like at Slick. But I didn't think I'd graduate. I did graduate, and then so many credits transferred the year I was a senior after one semester. So it was a pretty cool story. My mom actually went back to school at 45 and started as I was at Salt Lake Community College, and went and took 20-some credits a semester and walked with me. We actually walked together at Salt Lake Community College.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Mom and son duo, and she started like 2 years after me. She busted through it.
Well, can you like sell your credits to me? I'm only like 4 credits shy.
Only 4 credits shy?
Yeah, I think I don't know if you know this, but me no good at English. And so I kind of put off my English ones. And yeah, because I remember I came home from my mission and I had to go test in for English or whatever. And it was like so confusing, like, you know how it is, Brandon speaking Spanish, like it. So I messed up on my test, and it was literally like the week I got home from Uruguay. And so they wanted to put me in like it's not even a credit class. It's just like beginning English. So I'm like, well, I don't want to waste money and time doing that. So I just kind of put it off, and then I started taking all the other classes. And so I just really had to go back and do my English. And I think one other elective. My wife's good friend is actually a counselor now over at the community college. And so I reached out to her a few years ago, and about a year ago, and said, hey, what would it take for me to go back and finish? And yeah, she looked it up, and it was actually kind of Debbie Downer, but like it's expensive to go take classes now. I can't believe how much it had gone up in price, but I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I want to be like Steve Jobs and say I never graduated from college. And
well, you're talking about classes. My wife went through the same thing. You know my wife, Nate.
Uh-huh.
You know my wife, Nick. You went to high school with my wife. She went there forever, even as a single mom, before we met. So she had got married young, went through a tough marriage. And our oldest boy I met when he was 4, we got married when he was 5. Well, we had got married, and she still was finishing up classes, going forever as well. And she would take our son, our youngest baby, to class. They would literally be in the back of the class with her son, and the professor's like, hey, you're here. You don't have anybody to watch your son today. Just bring him. I mean,
that's cool.
Slick was just so understanding, cheaper, obviously, than other university or colleges. It was just cheaper than going to the university at the time, and location in the valley. I mean, as far as Taylorsville, with that campus, getting from the freeways, getting from I-215, I-15, you couldn't beat it, the location wise,
Yeah, even when I came home from a mission, I grew up in Sandy. I call it the Sandy Daycare campus, because they had over by the Sandy Mall, they had a little satellite camp. It was really small. It looked like a big doctor's office that it might have been before. So I took classes there. I've taken classes at the South High School location. I've taken a couple at what you talked about, the Redwood campus. The only one I haven't really, I guess, is the one over, is it Jordan? The one in West Jordan. I haven't taken classes over there. But yeah, I mean, outside of Taylorsville, I mean, if you can't make it there, there's campuses all around the valley that you can go to.
Yeah, there's 10 campuses in total. 10? Yeah.
Wow.
Got a lot.
Oh yeah, and the Miller, forgot about that one. That's also now in Sandy. Yeah, and then online classes was kind of a brand new thing when I started going to. So well, I should back up. My experience with Salt Lake Community College is they started doing concurrent enrollment my senior year in high school. So I don't know about you, Sheldon, when you were a senior, a lot of my friends were taking 7 basketball classes and their English class. That's so gym class the whole time. And I'm like, man, I'm going to get ahead in life. So I took Math 101, 105, and then I took Humanities 101. I did an AP class. So I'm in college my senior year of high school. And maybe that's part of the reason I gave up on, I was just so done with school. But So it was great. Talking about cost, it was like $15 a class when you take it to the high school, and then you're a full-on student, of community college. You got a pass, you could go use the gym or the Redwood campus, and it was great. So I knocked out my technically math classes in high school, and I wish they would have done English. I could have knocked it out then too. But
Well, now
that's
a
another thing
lot
too.
of kids can just get their associates right out of high school. They graduate from high school with their associates. I've got some friends that did that through Slick.
Yeah, that started a few years after I graduated too. They started doing that. And then my little brother is 2.5 years younger than me. So when I got home from my mission, he was a senior in high school, and they let him, instead of doing like work release, it was kind of the same thing. They let him out of school, and he would come over to the Sandy daycare campus with me and take classes with me. So he was taking college classes as senior in high school with me. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I think I had like 7 credits from high school. So I mean, something.
Yeah.
Not a crazy amount, but it was still getting a head start.
So the question is, do you recommend people do that, or do you do the 7 basketball classes or gym classes? Do you enjoy your senior in high school, or do you put some work in?
I tell a little story about my son. He got off his mission last summer, my oldest boy. Well, he was playing baseball. So back when I was in Tazewell was a big baseball school, and I played back in the 90s. And my wife and I got married. He grew up over there by Slick, by Eisenhower Junior High. He went to junior high. And then we moved to Lone Peak, and he made the baseball team. And so his junior year, he's looking at this house. It's a Parade of Homes. And he says, "Dad, I want a house like that." And I'm like, "Great. That's up to you. Like, I can tell you that you can do it, and you cannot do anything with yourself in life, and it won't happen. Or I can tell you can't do it, and you can say, I'll prove you wrong, and go do it. So it's not really up to me. This is your life. You choose it." And so the next week he goes, "All right, Dad, I think I'm going to quit playing baseball." Mind you, his junior year, lefty pitcher, killing it, played freshman, sophomore, junior year, and quits. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm going to go to college at night, and then I'm going to go to high school credits during the day." So before his mission, he had like 39 credits or something like that. And even between going to school at night and then some concurrent enrollment during the day, it was like $1,000 I paid for. And he paid nothing. So I asked him his feelings going back, junior and senior year, miss out on maybe fun classes or playing sports or whatever. He would not trade it. He only has 1 year left of his bachelor. So even now, currently, it works really well. And as a parent, I'm seeing it different than as a student back when I was a student, So I'm a big believer in it. Just get it done, bust it out,
I wish I had taken more advantage of that. I did take all my classes prior to the mission were through Slick, but I never actually took a class at Slick. It was all just the concurrent enrollment classes. And I did get a good amount. I was in a program through my high school called the Academy of Finance, and they just did all finance classes, and I knocked out a ton. But I never have actually attended a class on any Slick campus, or I guess really even taken an online class through there. It was all just through high school. But my only interaction with Slick, I guess you could say it's the reason I went on a church mission, is because I graduated from high school. I was kind of trying to decide what I was going to do with my life, and I'm like, well, I'm a student at Slick. I'll just go sign up for classes. And I go to sign up for classes, and they were basically all filled out. And so I was like, well, all the classes are filled up. I guess I'll go on a mission.
Nothing else to do?
Nothing better to do, I guess. I didn't end up going on my mission until basically a year later, but it's kind of funny that I think about that, and that was my big special mission moment was, well, this option doesn't work, so I'll do something else.
Does your bishop ask you to give talks about that to motivate the?
Yeah. I didn't share that with many people. That's more my. Obviously it changed, but that's my Slick experience, I guess you could say.
So you were talking about, I think Nate said you speak Spanish. So I'm thinking, Nate, you should see if Slick will do a what's it called? English as a second language. English is a second language for Nate. They should do that next.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But
English.
you can go take you can test out of Spanish if you know a lot of missionaries do that, and
That's
you
what I
get
did.
credits for it.
Yeah. But that
I
doesn't
don't.
take care of your English, because English is just English. But you need to say, hey, I need some help here. Can you
Yeah.
use English
Yeah.
as a second language, and start speaking Spanish to them? You know what I
Ayúdame, por favor. I need help.
You
That
speak
would be.
Spanish?
You speak Spanish? Yeah. We'll see.
Well,
I should at least, I mean, I think my vision board should at least have my 2-year degree from community college before it's too late. But
yeah.
we'll see what happens. You know, see where my pickleball career takes me. See where this podcast takes us. But
Well, so you were talking about Slick being kind of a stepping stone, I guess. You know, for some people, like you're saying, get your degree. And my wife, she has a 2-year degree, and she's very proud of it. And, you know, she accomplished something. She put her mind to it and accomplished it. So, when, you know, people say, oh, just Slick or whatever, it's not just Slick. It's you went through and did it. You know, you got it done. So I have a lot of respect for graduates that go through and finish it out. The stepping stone, the springboard to something else. Like for me, a prime example, I'm at Slick taking classes, don't even know I graduated, still going, which is crazy. I literally caught me off guard when she said that. So many credits transferred to the U as a senior after one semester. Well, then I'm like, I'm going to give this, you know, honestly, my attitude went to the U was, I'm probably not going to graduate. You know, like I'm just going to get some classes done. When I get married, I'll stop going. I'll go back later. At least I got more done. That was kind of really my attitude going in. And then I got my first semester done, and I wasn't dating anybody serious. I'm like, I only have 2 semesters left. Like, I can bust this out. So graduated, got married 2 weeks later. Well, I was in a communications class, and Edna Rogers pulls me aside. She said, hey, Sheldon, have you ever thought about getting your master's in communication? And I'm like, Edna, I wasn't even supposed to get my bachelor's. I'm out. Like, this is it. This is my last semester. I'm done. So I finished school, and she was the dean of the communication program for the master's program. I didn't know that at the time. I end up getting done, go do a business. My dad and I are partners in business. And the U of U ends up having a master's of real estate program. So I went back in. That's a whole nother story of getting in and all that, but went back and got my master's degree at the U of U. So coming from a kid that never really thought that's me to have a degree, like it just, in our family, that wasn't normal. And to just go and go and go, and just even a little bit of time, just going, it added up, and then opened up a door to get my bachelor's. Then that opened up a door to get my master's. So I always tell people, go get educated. I don't care if for my kids, you know, if they want to be entrepreneurs or have businesses, I'm all about it, you know. But if you want to go into sales, get a degree in sales. If you want to go into finance, do that. Business, art, whatever it is, dance, you know, just be the best you're going to be and get educated, both book smarts and street smarts. I think those go really well together, especially when it builds credibility too, you know.
I think that's something that's nice. I mean, I don't know what Slick or community colleges were like when maybe our parents were growing up, but I don't think college was as accessible as it has become. And that's what's really nice about something like Slick, is so many people can go there, and it's still expensive, of course, but it's much more, the barriers to entry are much less than just going to like a university to start off.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, I didn't go to Slick to think I'm going to go to the U, but after I did it, I'm like, that was the perfect path for me, right? If I could do it over again, I would have done the same thing. I would have went to Salt Lake Community College for 2 years. It's cheaper than a university, and the classes, it seemed to be easier to me just because it was a 2-year college. It was in my backyard. It was easier to get there. It was closer. It was cheaper. And I don't think I put as much pressure on myself. And so I just felt comfortable there. And then I went to the U, and I'm like, man, I can make this happen. I think for me personally, if I went to the U and I'm like, I've got 4 years of this or whatever, it just, for me, it was, I would not change the way that it went. And I was telling you guys about my mom going back to school and taking classes with me. I'll tell you a couple of funny stories. I'll tell you where she went with her degree, but funny story was I'm at Slick, and we have this, it's a class where it's not like a TA class. It's like study elective. I don't even remember what it's called, but yeah. So my mom's in the front seat. I'm not late for class, but I don't want to go like 20 minutes early. I walk in on time, and my mom is waving me from the front seat, looking at me and pointing at a seat next to her in the front. And I'm like, oh, great. I like to sit in the back or kind of the corner, you know. And people are doing a double take look at me, and they're like, is that your mom? And I don't even know these people. And they all bust up laughing. So we had classes together at Slick, and then we had 2 or 3 classes up the U of U together. And she went back to school and got 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. So when I started at Salt Lake Community College, none of my family had degrees. Then now you go fast forward now, I have my master's, my mom has her master's, my brother has his master's, my sister has her bachelor's, my brother-in-law has his master's, my wife has her associate's. So it changed the whole dynamics of our family.
Well, I'm the black sheep of my family. I'm the only one without a degree. So
You can't go do it then, Nate.
yeah, I gotta be the sore thumb. I gotta stick out. I gotta get attention somehow. I'm the forgotten middle child, and I don't think they know I'm still their brother. They forget about me.
No, Slick was awesome. I absolutely loved it. It was great.
I mean, I'm probably not the one to give advice, obviously, but I mean, that's advice I would give to young kids. A lot of people think that, I didn't get into the U, I didn't get to BYU or Harvard, whatever it may be. It's like, why not just go to the community college, get your generals done for less money, because nobody cares where you got your generals done. They just want to know where you got your degree from. So when, like you probably don't say I graduated from community college, you say I graduated from the U, right? So
no, I bring up the U, but then I tell them my path was Salt Lake Community College, because there's a lot of people I come across that are kind of like, I don't even know where I'm at. I'm just in a class taking credits, and I'm like, that's awesome. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people say, well, school's not worth it and this and that. My brother-in-law that's a CPA and my brother that's a CPA, they wouldn't be where they're at without their master's degrees, which they both went to Slick. Well, then for me, like last night, I was teaching a real estate investment class. We get a lot of people coming and they say, well, how do you know all this stuff? It's because of my master's and my experience. Well, I couldn't have done my master's program without everything before that, the associates and the bachelor's. They're not going to just let me walk in and do a 2-year master's degree without a bachelor's minimum. So my big thing is just keep plugging away in life. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Stop.
Just do something, right? College may be the path for you. It might not be, but you got to figure out what you want to do and go for it. Well, you said Slick, which is obviously what do you call it? Slang for Salt Lake Community College. I didn't know this, but did you know it had different names prior to being Salt Lake Community College? Yeah,
it was like Trade Tech, and do you have a list?
Yeah, well, if it's Wikipedia is correct, which if it's on the internet, it's true, is what I always say. It started out being called Salt Lake Area Vocational School.
1948.
And then it went to Salt Lake Trade Technical Institute from 59 to 67. And then it switched to Utah Technical College of Salt Lake from 1967 to 87. And then I'm guessing after that, it turned to Salt Lake Community College. So...
And if you look up, I don't know if you can look it up, Nate, but as far as the population of the student, as far as how many students are there,
there's 30,000 about. That's old.
That's old news.
I just remember when I went there, it was like the largest student body or something.
It is the largest 2-year college, and it's got the most diverse student body. But it says here it serves 60,000 students on 10 campuses. So I'm sure we could get the real numbers, but that's too much research.
That's too many clicks of the Google to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm like, let me see. Total enrollment at the U of U is 32,760. Utah State 28,000 change. BYU 33. What was it right now? What did you guys say?
This one just says more than 60,000.
And that's probably spread through all the campuses, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this might be this one says 33,420. No, that's just 2011. Yeah, it's changed a lot. Never mind. But yeah, it's a big net for sure, And
it's spread. I mean, we've talked a little bit about it, but they've got the Redwood campus, South City, Jordan, and then Miller and a couple other remote campuses spread all over the place. But I was talking to a friend of the podcast who used to work there, and he said just a couple things about it. Recently, it was voted, and I'm guessing this is the friendliest LGBTQ plus community college in the nation. it's the most diverse college in Utah. I would be surprised if you live in the city of Utah and don't have some sort of interaction, some sort of exposure to slick.
Yeah.
Or a family member, friend that went there. Yeah, some
Yeah,
connection.
but I think with they try to partner with all the universities in some way, and a lot of the high schools. So I imagine if you go to high school in the city of Utah, you have a chance to take a class through Slick. Don't quote me on that, but
Well,
that's the way it seems it is these days.
and talking about accredited university versus like college to the university, I had so many credits transfer up to the U of U, and then that counted where after a semester I was a senior. Then I went and did my master's. I had a buddy that did a 4-year degree, you can call it, through a small, I won't say the name, but more of a no name like college. It was like triple the cost of my college experience at Salt Lake Community College and at the U. And I think he spent like 70 some thousand years ago on tuition. And when he went to the U of U to try to do his master's in real estate, they said, no, that's not accredited. You can't get in. You have to go back through the U or through Salt Lake Community College, then get your bachelor's, then you can come back.
Ouch.
Yeah, that hurt pretty bad. And he does nothing with his degree anymore. That friend of mine is back running a business doing appliance repair, like appliances and repairs. So he has a lot of regret of that cost and that way of going through it. Where if he would have went through directly to a university or to Salt Lake Community College, you got to make sure those credits are going to transfer if you're going to go to the next step, you know? So it's like you're saying with high school too, taking credits in high school. But I loved it. We had a blast. It was so fun at Salt Lake Community College. Like I said, it's home. Love it there.
Yeah, I mean, it offers 200 degrees and certificate programs in academic, technical, and vocational fields. You said it's accredited. They do have some sports, not quite as robust as other colleges in the area, but they have basketball, volleyball, oh, and baseball.
Yeah, the baseball team's doing really well this year, and their stadium's just down the road from us, Brandon, and at the West Jordan campus. And I believe doesn't the D League for NBA
Stars.
they play there.
Yeah, Salt Lake
it's cool.
Stars right or something like that.
It's a really cool gym. Me and my neighbor used to go over there before he moved, and just I think it's a few bucks you can get in the gym. You don't have to have a pass, be a student, but you can use their gym for a few bucks for a day pass, and we'd go play racquetball over there every once in a while. It's a good facility.
Yeah, a good place. Even if you're planning on going to, as we said before, a big university, it's not a bad place to start, and still you can have that college experience, even with it being a community college.
Yeah, they kind of, I don't know if the U of U is the same way, but they call it more of like a commuter school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, commute in, but I feel like they're starting to get more housing, trying to build some more housing around it to allow people to have like an on-campus kind of an experience where they live close to it, And so I see there's a couple older buildings on the south, it'd be about the southeast of the campus. They built some apartments in that some older ones were torn down, or older houses were torn down, and they put in some housing. And I don't know if that's directly with Salt Lake Community College, or if they just rent it out as an apartment. People can stay there and go to the campus. But the campus that's a big campus for a community college for sure. On the Redwood campus is.
It's got we haven't even mentioned their mascot's the Bruin, the big bear. They've got a big bear statue at the Redwood campus there. I assume they have like a runaround mascot, but I don't know if I've ever seen it before.
I don't know. I don't go to any games. But their basketball team's supposed to be pretty good too.
And the basketball team's been good in years past. I think they even do volleyball as well. I've done intramural sports there. Did a flag football thing there 20 years ago.
You did a 5K?
Did a 5K at the South campus. And I might have told this story before, but I was at the time trying to date a girl, and she wanted to run it. And so I ran with her, and I knew I ran a 5K, well, at least 3.2 miles, like a few times a week. So I thought we're getting close to the end. And I told her, to be the big macho guy. Is it all right if I take off and like sprint to the end? She's like, yeah, go for it. So I do it. I start sprinting, and I turn the corner, and I look, I'm like, whoa, I'm like way away from the finish line. So I had to like stop, take a breather until she got signed. I took off again. And then I get back to the finish line, and all like the professional 5K guys are like, "Oh, that my time's way off. Like that took a lot longer than I thought." And people were like, that was more like a 7K." Like we,
Oh my gosh.
they mismeasured the, anyways. But I'm like, I'm not running these 5Ks anymore. Running's not fun. So, but I just, yeah, that sucked. I sprinted for like a mile. It felt like it was hard. So, anyways, good times.
I did dancing. So I don't know if that is going to lose my man card or anything. You're talking about sprinting and how you went to the gym just barely. And then I'm over here. I go to hot potties with my wife. You know, I kind of lose my man card to my oldest son.
No, not at all. Embrace it, man.
Yeah. But back when I was at Slick, I actually did break dancing with the dance company.
Cool.
So we had a bunch of group friends that were girls on the dance company. Asked us to, we did break dancing performance with the school and then country dancing with it. So yeah, it was fun. There's cute girls and they want us to come dance. We're like, okay, we'll come perform with you guys.
You got to do what you got to do sometimes. There's nothing wrong with dancing.
No.
Keeps you in shape, that's for sure.
Yep. Well, just down south of the campus, there's a lot of redevelopments happen right there on 54th and Redwood.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when the temples go in different areas, that helps with the location. So I feel like it's location in the valley, like I said before, getting everywhere within 10, 15 minutes, south in the valley, west, east, it just so perfect. And Slick is like positioned prime, I feel like, in the valley for that, you know.
Well, Sheldon, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us for a little bit about the community college. I'm sure we could go on for another half hour.
You're welcome.
But again, appreciate your time. And
you guys been great. You guys are awesome.
What is it you do, Sheldon, is if people are interested in, do you have any kind of podcast or anything?
No, I don't. I'm a loan officer. I do real estate investing and teach a free real estate investment class every month in different counties. But don't do podcasts. I've been on a few podcasts on the real estate side of things.
Okay.
But that's my wheelhouse, I guess, is more the real estate industry, you know.
So if someone's interested in real estate, they can find you and take some classes from you in that regard then.
Yes, I do mortgages my day job, but I've been investing in real estate for 20 years. So it's been a good ride. Been great. So if they have questions, real estate or lending, I can definitely help them out.
Awesome.
all right, thanks, Sheldon. Appreciate your time, man.
Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
See you next week.